Hello, everybody. Today we are reviewing. A lot of people say it's a cult classic.
Donnie
All right,
Darko.
so we recently, or I would say it was the first time I've seen this movie.
Same for me, all the way
Well,
through.
you saw
anyway.
part of it, so
just bits and pieces.
Technically, this was her first time watching it all the way through. I never saw it. I heard about it, then sort of forgot about it, and then popped up again, and
finally decided to watch it.
So, what are our thoughts? Whether, like, a lot of people say this is a cult classic, wasn't popular back then, but now it is.
Yeah.
So,
it was
what do we think about it?
Home video market that brought
the home video market
helped
it
it
did
get
well.
its success. Yes.
So, what do we think about Donnie Darko? Well, that's why you're here. Maybe Cyn will laugh, cry, or do a little bit of both. Anyways, the plot is pretty much about this young teenager. He's a troubled teenager, but there's more to him than just, I guess you say, more of the mental side of it. Also, something weird happens. A thing falls from the sky, and it lands on it, and a
piece of an airplane. I mean, that's kind of, this is something that happens kind of in the very beginning. He wakes up. He wakes up in the middle of the street, and he goes back home, or I think that's the day he goes back home, and then this part of an airplane falls out of the sky.
Don't know why that happened, because apparently there was no planes in the air. Anyways,
it was just a weird situation.
Set in the late 80s.
Yes, but right before the Bush-Dukakis election.
And he's just living his troubled teenage life. He goes to school, head over heels plays.
Tears for Fears stuff. You got your exposure to Tears for Fears. Well, you've heard them before, but
I've heard them before. I never really remembered what the band was called. And even after that, more weird things start popping up. He starts seeing a nice family-friendly bunny.
Yes, this strange bunny that pops up and talks to him.
Tells him that something bad's gonna happen, or the world's gonna end.
The end of the world.
And he's confused and he doesn't understand what's going on, but then other more weird stuff happens as he keeps seeing things. And he starts to also sleepwalk at points, which is weird. Like the voice. Yeah, but it's again more active. Like the voice is telling him to go do these things, and he doesn't even know he's doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
And to be honest, I don't really want to say too much, because the film itself is very cryptic, but
I mean, I feel like we can talk spoilers, Arturo. I'm fine with talking spoilers.
Don't know.
This movie is...
It is about 20-something years old.
20-plus years old. Came out in 99 or 2000?
2001.
2001. So it's 23 years old this year.
I don't know. Like, personally, I didn't know much about it. Going in, not knowing about it, made it more fun. So you sure you want to do spoilers?
Okay, so this is what we can do. We can be vague at the beginning, and then at the end we can talk spoilers.
Or at least my theory on it.
Yeah, and I had something else just popped into my head too.
Anyways, I don't want to say too much rest about the plot, but near a certain point in this video, we will go into the spoiler section, which you could check the timestamp if you're watching on YouTube or Rumble or wherever you're watching. But the quality of the movie, well, it does have that early 2000s feel. That is for sure.
Well,
and
it's also supposed to look like it's taking... Well... It takes place
it's set in the 80s, but the quality of the movie is definitely early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
And that I like that. I like that type of feel. It just takes me back to that day, that era that I grew up. A lot of the actors in there that you would recognize are pretty young.
It's pretty
Jake
big cast, yeah.
Heck, Seth Rogen. I didn't even know Seth Rogen was in there. He was very young.
Drew Barrymore, Noah
the actress,
Riley.
the girl, the girlfriend, she was in Hunger Games.
Right.
A lot of actors.
Swayze. It was a full cast of well-known characters, well-known actors. I mean,
and unfortunately, it didn't do well, even though the quality and the budget. I mean, it wasn't a big production. It was an indie film. However, the quality of it was actually pretty good. The editing, it plays around with your head a bit, but
it does.
You kind of end up sort of having to piece some things together little by little. I wouldn't say it's. I'm trying to think of a confusing film that sort of didn't make a lot of sense when it jumped around. Well, I don't know. I guess Dunkirk would be a bad take on poor editing, jumping around.
Well, that was intentional.
I know it was intentional, but I mean, you could piece things together, but it was just odd. With this,
right? But this is totally this is a different. This is totally playing different with your head. You really don't know. Physically. So as we've heard, psychologically, apparently nobody really knows what this movie's about. Even the director. I don't remember if it's like the director wrote it or whatever. But they don't even know. So
if you don't know what you're writing,
if you don't even know the story you're telling, then it kind of leaves the door wide open for other people to fill in the blanks.
Now, would you say the bunny is iconic when it comes to at least this film?
Well, yeah, yeah.
They made a sequel.
They made a sequel. Oh.
And I looked at the rating. It's terrible.
Oh yeah, who was in it?
Oh man, I feel like if I remember correctly, maybe was it the same, like the little sister?
Oh, really?
I thought, or I could be mistaken. I just know the little sister has been in in the first movie, has been in a lot of other movies that we've actually seen her in.
Her face looks familiar to me. I just don't remember what I've seen.
She's been in a lot.
Okay.
Anyways, jumping back to the first one. Yeah, so the bunny's iconic. I actually, if you go on my stock sites, I do have a photo of a cosplayer cosplaying as that bunny.
Okay, if this is taken in the place where I think it was, that's the cosplayer we talked to.
Yeah, well, I didn't even remember you were talking to.
And he was telling me he took his head off, and I've actually seen him at another con later. I saw the same guy. We didn't speak, but I recognized him because I was like, oh, that's the guy that was talking to us about Donnie Darko, and he was talking about how great it was. Now, this was years ago, and I hadn't seen it. I hadn't really been interested to see it. One, because Jake Gyllenhaal has not really been an actor that's been like, oh, I must see it because it's got Jake Gyllenhaal in it. I mean, he's definitely grown on me more, but he's just not.
I would say, yeah, he's kind of like that actor that I actually don't mind watching.
Well, I got over my annoyance with him in The Guilty, and so it's okay now. But but also just I'd heard how strange Donnie Darko was. I'd also heard that it's this weird conglomeration or mixture of different genres.
Horror.
It's like a horror-ish, it's sci-fi-ish, time travel-ish, comedy.
Comedy at points.
Comedy. It had something that really surprised me was how much comedy was in this. I did not realize that. The bits and pieces that I saw of it before, like when it's playing while I'm working or whatever, I just remembered the end. I knew what happened in the end, but I did not remember or take note of this, how laugh out loud funny it really was.
This guy combined 4 type of genres into one.
Maybe even more. Maybe it's like even also a drama.
Slice of life, growing up, coming of age. It's such an interesting mixture, and you would think these things wouldn't fit together well, and yet somehow this one does.
It works. It's so strange.
Which is weird. I'm pretty sure other people have done it with, probably wasn't even that successul, but for some reason, if this was able to do it, like, I don't know how he did it.
I don't know. It was just
because he doesn't even know what he wrote.
I don't know. Maybe he was high or something when he wrote it.
Like James Cameron.
Right? When he came up with the idea of the Terminator. He wasn't high, though. He was sick.
Well, I thought when he was high on stuff, he...
Maybe on medicine because he was sick. He was really sick. Anyway, whatever. Okay, we've gotten off track.
But and character-wise, well, we mostly followed. Well, the guy's name is Donnie Darko.
Donnie Darko.
We follow his life. We follow his family. Heck, even Jake Gyllenhaal's real sister is playing his sister.
Right.
And also the relationship between this girl and him. But then there's also these bullies that cause problems, and his buddies. Once in a while hang around, and then there was a point of this old lady too.
Old lady that's always standing in the road. He finds
and then this crazy teacher that's gets all upset, especially when Donnie Darko said a very nasty
that lady. That lady. Oh my goodness. So she's the lady who played in Speed, the woman who tried to get off the bus.
Oh, really?
That's her. Yeah, and she was perfect in this part. I mean, she was so funny. She was funny, and she wasn't like, her character's not a comedic character, but the way her character is comedic. if that makes any sense. She's very serious-minded about it, but it's really funny, these things that happen between him and her. I loved the dialogue in here.
Oh yeah, the dialogue.
It's so funny.
It is very 2000s, but
and yet it's also it will go to these really comedic places, and then it gets really dark. It's so strange. It's just I have not been able to stop thinking about it ever since.
Yeah,
and
neither have I, to be honest.
Tears in my brain ever since.
Tears for Fear and Mad World.
Well, that's their song. We had heard that they couldn't afford to buy the rights to Mad World, so they did they had a cover done of it or something like that, or a cover was
And to be honest, I doubt this type of movie could be made today.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you know, in society, when it comes to how you write stuff, you have to be very picky about what you write. Back then,
only people who are too concerned about that sort of nonsense.
Yeah, but back then you could just do it.
Yeah, a lot of things.
Like some of the stuff in here. Like it would not. I bet some of it wouldn't roll over today.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like the teacher saying, "Find the guy you're more attracted to," or something.
No, sit next to the guy you think is the cutest.
Cutest, yeah. Like a teacher, you can't see a teacher saying something like that. But
as we found out, that character, I don't know if they changed that line, but that character originally was like a 60-something-year-old teacher, and Drew Barrymore had bought she bought the rights to it, or she bought the production rights to it or something along those lines, so she had a hand in it, and I guess she wanted to play a role, and so they changed that teacher for her, and I don't know if along the way they also changed some of the lines.
I think I heard they did.
Okay.
But well, the editing, like I said, it did flip around sometimes, but it was mostly to play with your head.
Well, yes, that felt strategic for sure.
Now, I guess, should we get into the section of the spoilers?
I want to get into spoilers because.
All right, well, this is the section. Okay. This is the section.
Ding, 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 ding.
So if you want to skip to this number, wherever it is. I'll put it in when I edit this, because I'm a good editor.
I'll put in a timestamp. I might put it in my edit as well.
Anyways, okay, spoiler section. So if you haven't seen skip the number. Ahora.
So you came up with what you think was going on.
So how it concludes, yes, there is some time travel. The piece of the plane that crashed in his room came from the plane that his family was on, and then it like teleported through this portal and brought it all the way back like several weeks before.
His sister and his mother were on this plane, and it was having some stuff happened. Looked like their plane was getting ready to crash. Mm-hmm. And so I hadn't picked up on that yes,
top of that, the guy through, the bunny was actually someone that he killed. And the girlfriend also got killed because the guy in the bunny suit accidentally ran her over.
He had run over
and her. He shot him.
And Donnie shot him. And it's so this film is so deep. You came up with the idea.
So
you compared it to the game Singularity.
Yeah. So let me just explain this fact. Most people would probably be confused at how everything played out with the time travel and stuff, okay? And then at once, like, the sort of switch happens where somehow he was able to travel back to when that thing crashed. He decided to stay there and die.
Right, and because in the very beginning, he was not in his bed.
Yeah, everybody wakes up and kind of, I don't know, their reaction to whatever. And then the girl is alive and she waves to his mom and sort of know each other.
The girlfriend,
Yeah, here was my theory on how it all, like, why all this happened. So yes, like what Cyn was saying, there's a video game called Singularity. It's where the Soviets were developing something in this island, a fictional island, and something happened. And then 2010, American forces go there, stuff happens, blah, blah, blah. And then you end up messing up something in the timeline. And now you are in this altered timeline.
Like a loop.
Yeah, and so you go around, you're trying to fix it, but then you're seeing signs of yourself saying, oh, I did this. Oh, I tried that. I failed. And, oh, this happened, but I couldn't reverse it. And even your character went back in time to convince you to stop. This is also spoiler for Singularity, so.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, well, this is the spoiler section.
Yes.
I might actually have to add the singularity spoiler as well. Anyways, so you're pretty much just in this loop where the bad guy can just fix the machine or continue to rule over the world no matter what you do. So yeah, you're trapped in this bubble, in this island, in this bubble, and the only way you go back and forth between this time period and the modern day is open up this hole with
is
this
the
machine.
bubble the singularity in the game?
Yeah, it's like this big vortex in the sky, but you also use a machine to open up portals and jump around.
Okay.
Stuff. So if you think about it, in Donnie Darko, there is like the time travel thing. They do mention about holes.
Right.
So that's what came to mind. And then
and that old lady had written this book about time travel, and he starts to see these things coming out of these people. It reminds me of the thing in the Abyss, the James Cameron thing in the Abyss, in the Terminator, the T-1000. That weird thing that would snake around.
Yeah. So the fact that they're in the game, you're trapped in this bubble of just a time loop. The only way you can fix it, really, is to kill your character. That's how you break it. Mm-hmm. Now, in Donnie Darko, imagine it as WandaVision. Everybody is in like this. So yeah, they're all in this bubble. Yeah. Donnie Darko probably created it. Now they don't explain why this all happened. It's time travel stuff. But just imagine that he may have made something around him, this bubble. And whoever he interacted with will remember it. Because what ends up happening is, of course, the plane gets into this vortex, whatever. It doesn't show how he goes back in time, but he does. He's able to. And he stays in bed and lets that piece of plane kill him. Breaking this hole.
Does it show him getting in bed?
Yeah, it showed him getting in bed and smiling. He literally
gets in bed, he knows what's going to happen. He's figured it out at that point. He's figured out. So this is the thing that came to me right when we started talking about this. You know, the bunny was saying to him, Frank, but the bunny is Frank, who is a guy that was just basically in a bunny outfit, the guy that he killed because the guy ran over his girlfriend. And the bunny was telling him in X amount of days, it was supposed to be like end of October, the world is going to end. Initially, up until just now, right before we started talking about it, initially I was thinking it was just like, oh, the world's going to end. How's he going to be able to save the world? And that's how he saved the world, was allowing himself to die. Okay? What I think really you could take away from that warning, the world is going to end, but not the world for everybody. Donnie Darko's world is going to end.
Oh, true. That,
you know what I mean?
Or maybe like the fact that he'll lose his family.
Lose his family, his world, or whatever. Or maybe it is also predicting when his world / his life is going to end. Because that moment, he gets to that moment, and then he is able to somehow transport or go back to that point where the airplane came. And then he dies, and his world is over. His world has ended. Yeah, which, like we were saying about WandaVision, everybody he interacted with, once he did that, and then pretty much the bubble broke. And then you had everybody waking up, the people that he interacted with, sort of reacting to feeling odd. They felt odd. It was like they had memories of the 30 days that had transpired between the start of the movie and the end. The girlfriend and her little interaction with the mother, almost I guess a sense of deja vu, like they knew each other, but they didn't yet, because at that point in time they had not met yet, because we're all the way back at the beginning again, now, and none of these, they didn't know each other, but they reacted to each other as if they did. So that there is a remnants of what happened is with them, even though they can't necessarily put their finger specifically on it. But like I said, that's my theory. They were in a bubble that he created, and he broke it. Who knows if it was even something he created? Maybe it was just something that was there, and he was able to break the bubble. Who knows? There's all these unanswered questions. Yeah, but that was my theory, the singularity theory. Like he made a bubble like WandaVision, and he broke it by letting himself die. That's how he broke it. Yeah. And everybody still had the remnants of it. Also, these issues that he had, you spend a good deal of the movie wondering if he's just insane or schizophrenic or something. And maybe the whatever he had, whatever was going on with him, maybe it wasn't like mental illness at all. which, now when you see the end of it, you realize, well, he wasn't crazy at all. He just knew all these things. Maybe he had abilities that somehow caused this insulated area and all these things to happen in it. Though he, throughout the course of this 30 days that he had before the end of everything, he exposed Patrick Swayze's character was a pedophile.
Yeah.
He exposed him. And what else was it that he had done? It was that, like, he did bad things. He burnt the guy's house down. But
he also flooded the school.
He flooded the school. I don't know what good came out of that, though. Was there anything good that came out of that?
Just not going to school, I guess, because I know the girl didn't seem like she wanted to go to school because those bullies were around.
The chubby girl?
Not the chubby girl, the girlfriend.
Oh, the girlfriend? I don't know. I'm not remembering clearly about the school, but like he did these bad things. One of the bad things resulted in a bad person being found out.
Yeah.
Then later he did he ended up killing somebody that had run over his girl. So it's like he got progressively worse, more violent in the stuff that he did. And so by that point when he killed that guy, there was no coming back from something like that.
Oh yeah, no.
So when he goes back and he undoes all this by allowing himself to be killed by this airplane part, the engine of the airplane, even though it covers up again the whole stuff about the pedophile, that guy, it's almost like you saw an image of Patrick Swayze's character and he's crying and everything. And at first I was thinking, well, maybe it's just because he feels guilty because he knows the stuff he's doing is bad. Mm-hmm. But obviously now I think it's because, having thought about it more, it's because he still has remnants of himself being found out.
Yeah.
Even though at that point it hasn't happened, but he's got these memories, these deja vu memories or whatever of being discovered, and he's just tormented by it.
Yeah, so maybe, you know what, that will make his life even worse.
Or maybe he'll end up being discovered sooner, or maybe he'll end up turning himself in, or maybe he'll end up, who knows?
Or maybe just stop
he knows at that point he's not safe anymore. Yeah. Like he kind of knows his secret is out as he gets the sense of it anyway.
Well, he gets because of it, the whole remnants of everything after he broke the bubble.
Yeah.
But that was my theory.
I think it's a good theory. I mean, it's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Playing video games make you smarter. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I'm just curious now to hear other people's thoughts on this movie. I think there's just I almost feel like it deserves a rewatch. Just because there's so much stuff. I know there's stuff that we probably missed on the first watch.
Yeah, I bet if we watched it again, we might notice something different.
It's just so I enjoyed this so much more than I expected to.
My theory is like that's probably the only explanation. There's I can't see what other explanation there would be except for a singularity that Donnie Darko might have created.
You should look up videos of other people talking about it. Giving their thoughts about it.
There's other maybe cooler ideas that could have happened here, but I think it just makes more sense.
It's crazy. I was impressed with his acting in here. He did a really. Everybody was great in here. But he would get these looks.
Kind of like this very tired, and
well, he would also have this he would tilt his head down and look up, and he would have this weird very creepy look on his face, and then he'd snap out of it. But this was happen when he was talking to the bunny a lot of times.
Oh yeah,
you notice.
Why are you wearing that dumb bunny costume?
And then the guy, when they're in the theater and he tells him, he sees the bunny, he tells him to take his mask off, and you see that injury in his eye.
Oh yeah, you wonder.
And then later you find out.
Oh, because he shot him in
It's almost like the bunny is his guilty conscience warning him of this
that reminds me a bit of Silent Hill in a sense. Silent Hill does that. Silent Hill literally does that. It's basically the second game.
Anyway, this is a deep, rich movie. If you guys haven't seen it, well, this is spoilers.
Well, we can get out of the spoiler section.
This is okay.
Let's get out of the
we're
spoiler
concluding
section.
The spoiler section now.
Yeah.
If you guys have not seen Donnie Darko and you like really interesting, different movies that make you think and make you wonder, what the heck did I just watch? But I want to see it again. I highly recommend Donnie Darko. It's got a little bit of everything. Like we said, drama, comedy, sci-fi, horror, time travel. Well, time travel and sci-fi kind of go together. But it's just this interesting coming of age, slice of life. It's just fascinating. I don't know why I took so long to get around to watching it.
Yeah, my verdict would be watch it and then watch it 100 times more.
And let us know what you think. I am super curious to find out. I'm probably going to go deep diving and look for other people's theories about this film.
So yeah, my verdict would be yes, watch it and then watch it again and then watch it again. And then watch it again.
Multiple rewatches. I think it will take, and even then, because the frustrating thing is, if the director / writer doesn't even know what the heck he was writing, who knows? Mm-hmm. Whether there's even ever really going to be a full answer to he had to have known subconsciously. He had to have known because everything fits together so well. So he had to have an idea.
Unless it was the way it was filmed that made him kind of think, well, I don't know. But, I mean, look, this is his creation. He made it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you like what you saw here, follow me, YouTube, Rumble, wherever. And, Cyns Corner, where she laughs, she cries. A little bit of both.
Haven't cried in a while.
Gets freaking mad over bad movies. Yeah. Halloween. Kills and ends.
Let's not bring that up again.
I really love to see her flip out over that.
All right.
Anyway,
I guess that's it for this one. Adios. Peace.